just get this song lined up here on the audio. Good Saturday, Cookie. So far, so good here. Bonk and Kimmers were first, as always. Thank you, my two wonderful peoples. Who else we got? We got Gearbox Man with the 25 months in a row. We are soaring over the 2-year mark. Thank you very much for that, Gearbox Man. It's good to see you this weekend. Michael, you at work today? We're working hard. And hello, I hope I say this right, EVS Tropev. Welcome in. I saw that you followed a couple days ago. When we first heard this sub song and we weren't even live yet, just puts an instant smile on our face. It's hilarious. Sam was like, who's in here right now? You had to go check. Cookie, thank you very much for the tier 2 60 months in a row. What? We are cruising, you guys. That is crazy. How many years have gone by? Like how many weekends we've all spent together. Michael, you'll be at work in about an hour. You gotta get ready. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I mean, as someone who has worked many weekends in my life, I feel you guys. Trust me, I feel ya. I mean, I guess there is a reason that I stream on the weekends, right? Just what we're used to. It's when we do all the good cooking. Okay, so we're gonna do a 2-course meal today. Yes, Samo is home. He's just chilling in his chair, playing a little bit of video games on his deck right now. Made it home safe. They had to avoid a sort of thunderstorm system that was rolling through the city, but they made it in no problem. What else do we have to report? That's about it. Yeah, we weren't able to be around in the house yesterday. The people didn't come till like 1 p.m. to spray the unit. And we were actually able to come back within like 4 hours or so. We didn't have to literally wait till 9 p.m. to come back. So that's good. And now we're all protected, right? Because I'd rather do preventative things than to be doing reactionary things when it comes to pests in units from other people. Yeah, no thank you. So he said that's a-okay. Hi, Oak. We had to move like everything away from the baseboards, which is like not really a big deal. I was happy that Sam came home yesterday, that he could help me with a couple of the like heavier pieces of furniture. But yeah, it's all good. I mean, we don't have any signs of anything, but I can't imagine how it would be if you had to deal with that in your life. So yeah, what we did yesterday, we went on like a little bottle depot run, took that in, because yeah, we have so many, right? But just 4 little bags, get them out of our life. And then we just went and parked in like a quiet subdivision that they're building in the middle of the city, and like seriously just had a nap in the car. We were watching the coyotes, hunting the Canada geese. It was a good little nature break. We're doing good, Oak. How are you feeling this weekend? So here's our menu, and we got 4 recipes today, guys. We're gonna be cooking a yummy pork dish that I would say has like probably some German influence to it. Sam asked me to make him some delicious pork chops today, so I couldn't say no to that. And then our back to sourdough cookies. So I found a recipe for sourdough peanut butter cookies, and then we'll just put a Rolo on top of them. If you guys don't know what Rolo is, it's a chocolate, let's say. I mean, it has caramel, but I think it's definitely more known as a chocolate than a candy. And Sam actually surprised me. He brought these home from work because there's a commissary at work now. So it is a milk chocolate candy that's filled with caramel. So I was thinking we would make the peanut butter cookies, probably bake them about 3/4 of the way through, and then we'll take one of these and stick it in the center of them as they finish baking, so it's nice and ooey gooey, but then it doesn't flow and melt all over the whole thing, right? So that's the method to my madness there. Don't know how many are in here. Probably like 10. And then if there's any left, we can maybe just mix some chocolate chips into that part of the dough. But you guys know I've been craving some peanut butter cookies, so today is the day. Oak, you're still not doing very good. It's been a long week and other worries and stress on your mind. You got this, dude. I believe in you. And yeah, we're always here as maybe like a distraction from those things. Because you don't have to always be thinking about the things that are wrong, right? Sometimes we can get stuck in a little loop like that. A chocolate enrobed soft caramel. Yeah. And I think I've had Rolo cookies before. My mom once upon a time made like a spicy Mexican chocolate cookie and put Rolo in it. Yeah, it was like a spicy gingerbread chocolate cookie. And she put a Rolo in the middle of it. It was delicious. Super good. So make sure you pop up those recipes if you want to follow along, or I already popped them all in Discord just this morning, actually. I'll make a little listeroo and away we go. And then, yeah, one note, you guys can see the, we call this like the hot tub or the fish tank back here. We decided for the pork chops, because we want to do reverse sear, we thought the best option would be to circulate them. So also known as sous vide. So cooking under pressure inside of a sealed package. But because there's so much fat on like the inside of the pork chop, it's hard to render that out if you just sear it in a pan, and then it stays pretty chewy that way. And yeah, when you're eating fat with the meat, you want the texture to be very buttery so that it kind of melts in your mouth as you're eating the meat part with it, right? You don't want it to be chewy and weird. I hate that texture when you like can almost choke on the stringiness of it. So those have been going since what? Like 9 a.m? 10? 8 in the morning? Okay, so we popped those in at 8 in the morning, and all I did, because I had prior vacuum sealed them when I butchered it and then froze it, we just take the whole bag of pork chops and drop it in the water at, what temp did you do?
125.
Sam did 125 Fahrenheit for the temperature of the water, which means that that pork is not going to go above that temperature internally. So if you cook your pork chop to medium rare for the internal temperature, that way when we go to sear it and cook it again, it's not gonna get overcooked and dry. So really important when you do this process that you kind of undercook the pork initially so that when you cook it again and it carries over, you don't end up with a dry product. You can do this with a lot of different things. We've done beef before too. I've never done a reverse seared chicken because I just don't think it's really necessary. But the recipe that I linked is really good. She explains everything really well. I think we should just take a look at this first though together. Yeah, so we're basically at, it says only 2 hours on here, but you moved it, right? So it reset the timer. Is that why? Okay.
At 2 o'clock, it'll be 6 hours.
It's hard to see what's even happening. Let me see if I can move some of the juices to the back of the bag. Oh, you can see what's happening a bit now. But yeah, these ones were really marbled pork loin chops. And so able for us to use all of it without wasting any fat, I thought this was the best process. You can just control the temperature a bit more doing it with the sous vide compared to the oven. Because most ovens, you can't get to this low of temperature, to 125 Fahrenheit. The lowest oven I've ever used is 175 Fahrenheit. So then that way you can't cook it quite as long because it's going to rise in temperature quicker. Mish, I saw your greenhouse. It looks so, so nice. Good job to everyone that was involved in putting that together. Sam, say hi to Mish.
Hi, Mish.
She probably won't be here later when you're popping in. Okok, you're finding distractions. You're trying your best. Yes, keep up your daily walk. That's what I always do too when Sam's not around. There's lots of little things we can do. I got lots of little tips and tricks if you ever want to know about them. All right, so first things first, since the pork is already cooking, I think we will bake our cookies or dessert like we always do. And that way it's done. It's out of the way, and it's nice to have something as a little snack while we're working on everything else as well. And then the one thing about these sourdough cookies that I just can't really get over yet is that we can mix the dough and instantly bake them without having to chill it in the fridge for multiple hours at a time. I've never found a cookie recipe that you've been able to do this with yet. So that's pretty amazing. Let's just look at the temp and timings. I mean, typical cookie baking temperature is 350 Fahrenheit. For the sourdough ones, I have been going a bit higher in my oven, closer to around 400 Fahrenheit, because I've been making them larger. They're not just gonna be the little bite-sized, like thumbprint cookies, for example, what we made last weekend together. I make like nice, big, hefty cookies where if you have one, then that's enough. Okay, so they say 24 cookies, bake time 10 minutes, total time 25. So nice quick recipe, like I said. And yeah, typical cookie ingredients, except we add half a cup of sourdough starter to it so that we have some fermented wheat in there that is going to help us digest everything just a little bit better. It says oven to 350, and then they bake for 12 to 15 minutes. I'm probably gonna do more like a 385 Fahrenheit. And then I think it's closer to a 16 minute or 18 minute. So we shall see together. Dust, welcome in. Guys, we get to ask Dust how his week went at work. I'm so proud of you, dude, and happy for you. Hope you're surviving. And thank you very much for the 58 months in a row. We already had 3 subbies today. Thank you, my friends. Okay, so we'll get our cookies going there. We'll use the stand mixer quickly so that we can nicely cream our butter and sugar together. And then while our cookies are baking, I think we will get our root vegetables ready for roasting. We're gonna do some baby potatoes. I'll grab those now that I've had sitting in the pantry for a little bit. And I thought, you know what? This is gonna be so good with pork chops. So we'll roast these yellow mini creamers. Love leaving the skin on. We'll probably just slice them all in half so there's more surface area for them to crisp up. And then on the back here, they actually shared a recipe. Warm yellow potato salad with pesto. Interesting. There's like sun-dried tomatoes in it. There's no feta, but I bet feta would be good. So yeah, we'll prep those up as well as the carrots from the farmer's market. We got multicolored carrots. And I think as long as we cut the carrots a proper size, we can roast both of those things together in the oven. We don't have to go on separate trays. Hi, Clem. How's your weekend? I am doing good. I've been slowly catching up on sleep since Sam is home, and it's honestly feeling amazing. Does reverse-seared pork chops sounds interesting? Yeah, click on the recipe and check it out because they did a really good explanation for it. Okay, our carrot. So we'll throw some herbs in there for sure with the root veggies. And then kind of to bring the whole meal together, and you guys remember we have a really cute little purple cabbage to use up from last week. We'll do some braised cabbage. haven't decided yet if we're just gonna chop it all up and braise it or do it in kind of nicer steaks, sort of, for plating. We'll see. We'll see what we decide. And then I was thinking, after the pork is seared, we can maybe just make a quick little pan sauce with some apple cider vinegar or something like that. A little glaze of sorts. And then we're good to go. All right, cookie time. I'll get the mixer all set up for us. This is one thing that I want to ask of you guys today, because I was talking to Sam. Was it this morning? Yeah, it was our talking point this morning while we were waking up, right? Okay, so quickly, Clem, before I go through your message, since I'm on the topic. I said this morning, what is with us? And whenever we eat something really delicious that is kind of like life-changing feeling, where we feel like, wow, that's like the best thing I ever ate. What is with us always kind of defaulting first to saying, oh, that's like so sweet, it'll give me diabetes. Or they'll say like, oh, that was like crazy sweet, it's make my teeth fall out, but it was like the best thing I ever ate. What is wrong with people like saying that? Why do we do that? We like we discredit the thing, make it seem like it's bad, before we actually give it the proper credit it deserves. Like, why do we do that? Because even when I went, like, usually when I pick up Sam at the airport, I always get him a Frappuccino from Starbucks. That's like a little treat, right? And while I was waiting for it, the one lady there with her son, he also got a Frappuccino. And like, before she drank it, she's like, oh, that's like diabetes in a cup. But still she drank it and then said it was good after. That was just something that I thought about this morning that I think is funny of us to do. Why can't we just enjoy something without saying it's bad for us first? It's the fact that it's so good that it's sinful, and sinning is bad, right? But then Sam says this, he's like, I've never been like that. Yeah, a subconscious thing. I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting for maybe you guys to think of it too, if you notice it. Okay, what is Clem saying? Completed the first part of graduation today. We made it, everyone! We made it!
We did it!
Woo! Good job, Clem. The big ceremony's tomorrow. You almost tripped twice? And your mom has it on camera. Something that you'll never forget, right? I love those memories. Clumsy gal. Thank you so much, Clem. I hope that you have a yummy treat this weekend too for graduation. Cookie, you're gonna have some ice cream tonight in honor of this conversation. And you better just say it's good. Why would you say it, then buy it and drink it? That's what I don't get. Like, what's wrong with us? Why do we do that? Okay, let's get into it. I know we need some butter and egg, as well as the sourdough starter. And all of those things are cold, so we might as well take them out now to warm up a bit. And then also, guys, tomorrow we're having our friend Thomas come over. So it's race weekend for Formula One. So we're gonna be making brunch for him tomorrow. And he is a hollandaise fiend. So we always have to like make something Eggs Benedict-esque. So we're gonna do the fried chicken Eggs Benedict for Sunday brunch day. For the boys, I'll do proper Eggs Bennies, but for me, I'm gonna do, we've done this before at work, we just call it like a Benny bowl. So I don't have to have the English muffin. I just build it on top of hash browns. So delicious still. But yeah, it's supposed to be a really rainy day tomorrow, so perfect for staying inside and eating yummy brunch food. Sounds really good, Clem. I think so. I don't know if we've ever done a fried chicken Benny before on stream. Sambo says he doesn't think so. Let's get the mixing bowl out. Since we're not really mixing chocolate chips in, I don't think we need the other beater. What's everyone else doing this weekend? Let me see the ingredients here before I go back over. Try to get as much as I can. Okay, we need butter, peanut butter, both brown and white sugar, vanilla, and both baking soda and baking powder. Boom. Those things over here. Use up some more of my homemade brown sugar. So fancy. I still can't believe how easy that was to make though. I think I just need flour and then we're good. You're gaming, making Korean beef rice bowl for dinner? Participating in charity karaoke tomorrow? Do you have to leave the house for that? Or can you do it from home? Hey, you never know. Why are you laughing? Also, do you know this song that you're singing? That's cool. Hi, Happy, how are you? So we need half a cup of peanut butter. And we add that in with the butter and the sugars to cream it all together. So half a cup of butter, 1 whole cup of peanut butter. And then half a cup of each sugar. That's pretty simple recipe. I like when it has a lot of the similar size ingredients or ingredient amounts. We fill that with peanut butter. We'll measure this butter out and get it softened. It's on Twitch on a channel you're watching. See? I knew it was online. Hi, Mickey, how are you? How are you and how's your dog child? That's what we can ask. I wait for the updates every week. It's gonna be a surprise what this song is for a charity called RAIN that is anti-sexual violence. I'm here for it, sir. Thank you for doing your services. Okay, we need half a cup of butter. I'll just make the line here. Not too bad, and Papa's good. And then how about your dad? How's he doing? Sambo, last weekend during stream, Mickey was watching with his parents and then his dad fell. And now he needs like a hip replacement pretty much. Yeah, it wasn't good. Dad's still in hospital. That is nuts, dude. He's doing okay though? He's hanging in there? You've been paying him some visits? He's already had the operation. Well, that's nice and quick that you didn't have to suffer. Up and walking? Good. That's awesome. Dust, your girlfriend and you have started making preliminary plans to see the race in Austin in October. Looks like the most expensive thing will be the race tickets. Something with The races in North America are so expensive to go watch. If you look at the ticket prices in Europe, a lot of them are less expensive. It's kind of mind-blowing. That's so exciting though, dude. I hope it all works out. Okay, so we're only gonna soften this butter. We're not gonna melt it. Put that back on there. You never been so upset you were crying? It's okay, dude, because, like, your body's not used to having to deal with that sort of stuff. So it was just a lot of emotions that you weren't used to. It's okay to cry, no matter what people say. Let's do 20 seconds on that. I'll go get a little spatula for us. And we'll do our sugars next. Half a cup each. You might go to the Dutch or Belgian one. Maybe not this year, but next. I know that we said we wanted to do it this year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. What if we plan to do it next year, Blood Oak? Maybe Lauren can join us. I need like maybe 10 more seconds on this butter. Okay, spatula time. That's nice. You have 2 brothers. And did you say you had a sister? How did this go from being like rock hard when I felt it to basically melted? Like, I'm gonna commit anyways. But how did that happen? The most finicky thing ever. I guess I gotta be the person that leaves butter on the counter. That's okay. When we mix it with the peanut butter, it'll come back together. I'm not worried. So half a cup of each sugar. And when we do equal parts of the sugar, that means the cookie will be nice and crisp on the outside, and then from the brown sugar, it'll keep it more soft and chewy as well, compared to just using all white sugar. And then obviously if you use all brown sugar, it'll be very soft. Maybe won't hold its shape properly. I don't know. I've never tried it. If any of you are brave enough, please let me know. Oh, we would definitely stay for more than the race. Right? We always say, like, if we're gonna take that far of a flight, need at least, I would say at least 2 weeks at the destination. But for sure closer to 3, I think is smarter. My little stale bread in here, just pick that up. The stale bread works so good at keeping brown sugar soft. That's always scary when your family members are unknowingly allergic to some medication. I had that happen to my brother once, Mickey. He actually like almost died. It was pretty serious. But they didn't, right? They're still here with us. And that's pretty amazing what the body's capable of. Alright, peanut butters. I'm hoping this will use up the rest of this jar. Gonna be a lot of scraping out of here. This would be Pepper's favorite part, right? Clean out the peanut butter jar. It's like seriously the best treat for dogs. Get a big spoon so I can reach all the way in there. Will we even get a full cup? Let's see. It'll be so close. And you could use crunchy or smooth peanut butter for your cookies. Kind of same as when we used it to make the peanut sauté sauce. You can use either one. You don't have to buy anything special if you don't want to. I do like the crunch from the crunchy peanut butter. That's always satisfying in cookies. Just adds a bit of extra texture. This spoon worked awesome for cleaning out the jar. We might be like a little bit under what we need, but hey, that's close enough. Gone. Basically nothing left to even clean out. Alright. I'll scoop this in and then I'll center the mixer. Do they even make peanut butter cookies at grocery store bakeries anymore? Because that was always my favorite to get when I was young. Like, do they still give out cookies to kids at the bakery if you go with your parents? It was like for sure one of the main reasons I'd always go shopping with my mom. Because like you knew you'd get a cookie at least out of it. Do they even do that? Yeah, you still have to rinse it out for recycle, it's true. Usually a good soak with hot water overnight. And then rinse it out the next day. Even though I don't know anyone allergic to peanuts, I'm always really adamant of just not cross-contaminating with peanuts at home even. You too, Sam? Okay, our one friend Jesse, but like we don't see him often. You see him at work, that's about it. Yes, yeah, use the dish soap to get through the oils. Okay, let's get this mixing. We can crack the egg while we're waiting. I'm actually just gonna give this a quick scrape down right now because I see that a bunch of it stuck to this side when it did the initial mix. And I suppose at this time we can start preheating the oven too. That takes a little bit. I believe it was 1 egg. What up, Blondie? How was your week? Yeah, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Half a cup of discard. We can measure that too. I love the look when the peanut butter starts to get whipped. It goes lighter in color. There's our discard. I didn't feed my starter this week. So this is from last week's discard, and that's okay. We always stir it before we use it. And you can see that there is some whole wheat inside of there too for added health benefits. The sourdough flavor is really quite addicting, I will say. I never thought these cookies would be as good as they are. Sounds good, Michael. Have a safe trip to work. That's looking great. I think we'll do one quick scrape. Do a little bit more mix. You can see how nice and light the color is now. And then we can do our egg and sourdough and vanilla. And then just the dry stuff. Yeah, who knew cookies could be good and like somewhat healthy, I would say. It all depends on how much sugar you want to put in and how sweet you want them. I'll go 385 on the oven for that. How much flour we need? 1.5 cups of flour. And let's not forget the salt. And we'll prepare 2 sheet pans with the silicone baking mat. Or if you have parchment, that works okay too. These are these. I'm just going to grab the scoop. The big old scooper. Oh, I have actually great news, guys. Great news to share. So recently, let's say the last 2 weeks, around the building here, because we live on the corner so I can like see so much. They've been working inside of the sewers with different hydro companies. And I was like, I think that they might be putting fiber in, because like still we're in the middle of the city and we don't have fiber internet access. They're putting in fiber! I'll be able to turn my stream back up to the quality that it should be output at. So it'll be 1K both up and down. Because what do we have now, Sam, when you test it? Not that. You don't have fiber, Mickey? Like, it's so silly because even, okay, when we were on the island in the middle of the ocean, we had fiber there. We moved back to the middle of the city and we don't have fiber yet. So I got so excited yesterday. Just had to let you guys know that. Yeah, fiber is good for you. And Bonk, you prefer your cookies with a touch of salt? Me too. Me too. And I'm not the person that will like dunk the cookie dough in the sugar for the peanut butter cookies and then bake it. Yeah, I'm definitely much a less sweet cookie person. All right, do one more scrape before we add the next ingredients. Move this over for a sec. We'll go egg next. We'll scoop all this in. Our starter. 1/2 half a cup is not a small amount of discard. That's so awesome. And yeah, let's also say this. So a lot of those like store-bought cookies, or even I can say the cookie dough that we could bring in frozen up at work, let's say in restaurant quantities, all of that has a lot of sugar in it because that's what keeps the cookie softer longer, right? It's not the flour, it's not the butter or anything like that, it's the sugar. So as much as they stay really nice and soft for a long time, it's not really the best reason. Like, you should just be able to bake fresh cookies more often. One teaspoon of vanilla. Also love the smell when you bake peanut butter cookies in the house. So good. I got that. Mix that in really well. I don't usually go too crazy with the starter, right? Because there's gluten in there a bit. Need 1.5 cups of flour. Yeah, I don't know what other preservatives they could use either, Bonk. Let me just do one scrape before we do one more mix here. Because yeah, I remember, let's say this example, when we brought in some cinnamon buns. So think the dough was made and cut, and then it was vacuum sealed in like all individual pieces in plastic, and then you just take the dough out, let it final proof, and then bake it. And that saves quite a bit of time for labor if you're a baker, right? But I remember seeing there was things in the ingredients that like, this helps the dough stay softer and stuff like that. I was like, why would you do that though? That just makes it hard for like actual bakers to even compete with that if they're not using those ingredients. Everyone's always gonna be, well, it's not as soft as like this place. We actually didn't do any grocery shopping this week. At least not yet. We're planning to go maybe later tonight to grab a few things like milk and eggs. Some of the staples, yogurt, breakfasty things now that Sambo's home. Okay, first cup. Now we need a 1/2 cup. I don't think lecithin is not bad. Because that's still something that is naturally derived, right? Compared to some of the other, let's say, like, harsh chemicals. Greek? 42 months, question mark? I think so, dude. How are you doing today? You're the 4th time that we got to hear Chicken Wing song today. Thank you. And yeah, I'm not really against it, Brit, because the things that are available access to like us, the general public, are not easy, or sorry, they are easy to find. Whereas some of the other chemicals that they use in factory manufacturing for food, we'll never get our hands on. You gotta like know a guy. It's a good argument though. Okay, we'll do our What was this more amount? I think the baking soda. So it's half a teaspoon of baking soda and then 1/4 teaspoon of the salt and powder. And yeah, welcome, Palooza. We're back. We're safe. Preventative actions have been taken. We're good to go. Some of the common preservatives they use are toxic to breathe in. Whoa, see? You know more about it than I do then. Thanks for sharing that part of it. Half baking soda. And we'll go 1/4 each of these. Dust, you're on day 6, no sugar. Trying for 2 weeks, it's harder than you thought. Yeah, it's a little bit much. It's probably more difficult than cutting out maybe wheat or other stuff, right? We don't really think about how much sugar is in everything. Yeah, you're safe with beef. That just means more steaks. I like your thought. That'd be like something that I say. Yeah, I have heard that. They told us horror stories kind of in culinary school. Like bakers that have baked for a long period of time have lung issues because of all the flour they've breathed in over the years. I was like, what? It kind of scared me from being a baker. All right, so now we're in the final mixing stage of our cookies. Really important that we don't over mix them and work the gluten too much. That's when they get hard and dry when you bake them. You're including rice, pasta, bread, stuff like that. So just eating a lot of salads. It's good. I always think that's like just kind of a little bit of a cleanse that you do when you cut out those sugary starches. It doesn't feel good at first, but give it a little bit of time. It'll pay off. I'm gonna stop here. It all just like went into the beater. I guess we'll have to scrape that out and finish mixing ourselves. That's okay. Benzalkonium chloride doesn't even require a buildup in your system, and you can be affected noticeably right away. See? That's more like what we're talking about. Like, I don't mind people using like xanthan gum and some of the different like natural gums for ice creams and stuff like that. But then you say words like that other stuff. It's like, yeah, why do we have to use that? If you put sourdough starter in your lungs, that's healthy, Paloozer. Fights the bad stuff, that's what we'll say. The texture of this dough looks really nice and light and fluffy. Can you guys tell? I think it's gonna scoop up so well. I'm excited. We kind of have a rule in our house, like if we're ever craving something sweet, most of the time we'll make it ourselves. It's kind of more satisfying to do that. I mean, at least you know all the things that are in it. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but then you can feel accomplished that you did something for yourself, rather than just driving to the store and buying mediocre cookies. Okay, look at this one. Got really bunged up in there. Oak, you can't quit drinking energy drinks, but at least you switch to sugar-free ones. Yeah, I mean, there's so much argument around like, oh, is sugar-free better? I don't know. That like I can't even pay attention to it anymore. Right? Like you can really get obsessed with it if you want to. But still, we can always come back to this saying, everything in moderation. We're almost there. Try not to waste any of the goodness. Although I got a beater cleaner back in the house now. They're already cleaned, yeah, there's nothing really too much left on them. Let me just swipe some of this that fell off back in here. I'm gonna wash my hand. I have a bit of a sneeze, one sec. Okay, we're safe. We can wash all the things. You got a customer test some ingredients? Pepitas and cashews? Yum! You should make some granola. Dry roast them in a pan, no added fats. I remember this one time a sous chef was showing me how to toast nuts for something at work. I forget what they were. I think they were pecans or something. They were Brazil nuts? That's what we were toasting? Okay, so the sous chef asked me to toast Brazil nuts. But then he poured oil into the pan to toast the nuts. I was like, dude, what are you doing? It's not fully mixed yet. You just have to wait a sec. So people aren't really aware that nuts and seeds have natural fat in them and oils that you don't need to add more to get them toasted. We're almost there, Sambo. Everyone say hi, Sambo. Yeah, patience. He did so good. He said, what? You had like no treats really at work?
No treats.
I think that looks evenly mixed now. See how that looks more even now? Good to go. Sambo? I call him a bunch of different things. Sometimes it's two M's. Sometimes I throw a B in there like Rambo. He knows it. It's a good dough. Nice. The test has been made. He's wearing his fruit and veggie Udi today. That was 2 cookies worth? I didn't even see. That's what you all took out?
No.
Bonk. We can't let him do this.
Dude, it's sourdough.
You can taste the sourdough, he says.
Yeah.
Samborghini. Is your man wearing a onesie? He's wearing an Udi. Okay, go back up down the hallway and show them. Were you gonna do a quick fit check? You have to go more so they can see that you actually have shorts on underneath. He's wearing shorts under. You're good to go. Okay, do your best walk. Cook with Kate 2024 fashion show. It's true. The code is a forever code, so thanks for posting that, Paloozer. If you want to try one for $35 off, use code Cook with Kate on the Udi store. Everyone that I've met that's gotten one is obsessed with them. It's the all-new Subaru Sam TI. You guys. I love it. I was seeing what he's doing back there. He's getting a snack. So this is a funny thing we can talk about. We were both like feeling like fish and chippies on Thursday when Sam got home instead of driving somewhere. So that's what we ordered in because it was 2 for 1. And then they had a couple other things on the menu for 2 for 1. And one of them was called chicken thighs, which like honestly sounds good, right? 2 for 1 crispy chicken thighs? Heck yes. So we ordered that, try it for the first time. It ends up being chicken tenders that they have cut in half and then deep fried into like smaller pieces. So nothing of what a crispy chicken thigh would ever be. And so little to say, like we went through the app and we're like, well, this is not anything what they said it was. It's like, why would you fake advertise something? Hitch is hitching America, but with a folding bike as well. I hope he's still on by the time we're done today. We'll go raid him. Okay, I think how I usually scoop these ones is we go 2 and then 1, kind of offset, 'cause they're quite large. Fill it up with the scoop. And then do that. This seems pretty soft for us to be able to bake right away. I don't know. The world's changing. The other day, Jay Streezy was in Korea on a cyclothon. That sounds like so much fun. I'm so proud of them. Like, still be doing it. I guess same for us, though, right? There's lots of us that started around the same time and are still going. Like, how much our streams have evolved over the years. It's all part of the fun. This thing is the best as far as making cookies go, Bonk. This ice cream scoop. I mean, in kitchens, we just call it a portion scoop, right? Because you can use it to portion a lot of different things. It doesn't just have to be cookies or ice cream. They make all sorts of sizes. The really big ones are awesome for portioning salads and stuff like that. Actually, we go one higher and then we do a single one up over here. Okay, so we're not gonna get 24 cookies because we made them massive. Let's see what we end up with. I mean, since I made them so big, I might spread them out on the 2 sheet pans so they bake more evenly. That's 9. 9 on 1 pan. 3 scoop mashed taters. Yes. Yeah, same with that. When we would serve the food. How many scoops of mashed potatoes you want or whatever it was. You'd have the people that are like seasoned veterans of working in camps and they just walk up and they say exactly what they want, right? They know it. They don't even have to look to see what's there. Or you get the people that are all confused as to what they're looking at. And then you have to say, well, here's the menu that I've written for the day. Because, like, after you do it for 100 people, you kind of get tired of saying the same thing over and over. That's why I don't think I could ever work fast food. You like yelling at the people. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I gotta use the spatula to get this last bit out. Alright, so we doubled the size of cookies, let's say, because we ended up with 12. And there is supposed to be 24. I think for this type of cookie, though, I'd way rather have a bigger one. That's good time, and the oven just beeped. Okay, so if you start preheating your oven, right as you're about to mix in the dry goods, it'll be ready by the time you're finished scooping. I don't like heating up the oven too early because then it just makes the whole house hot and you're using energy for no reason. So why don't we do around 6 per pan? Serve it up like a banana split. Yes. What did I see the other day on TikTok? This guy rolls up to, I think it was his local Dairy Queen. And every time he's tried to go there and get a banana split, they say they're out of bananas. So what did the guy do? He brought his own bag of bananas. Just in case they said they were out again. It's like, I would so do that. I do that in the winter, Bonk. Okay, you caught me there. I won't over preheat the oven unless it's the winter time. Because, yeah, then you can use it as a built-in heater at the same time. Okay. Do we want to do the little fork design? I think we have to. It would be weird if we did peanut butter cookies and didn't do the fork design. That's so smart, Bong. Might as well use the thing that's already working, right? Gotta open this up. Okay, grab a fork. Now we're just gonna do a gentle smoosh. I'm just gonna do a one press with the fork. Some people do a cross. That should be good. And then sometimes it sticks, so I'll just drag the fork out rather than lifting it back up. And you kind of keep your design. Reminds you of a Dutch joke about a young boy and a carrot cake? I mean, you can say it if you want, or is it too bad for a Twitch chat? I don't think we have really any kids that watch, because we're a little bit too crazy sometimes. So I'm not too worried about that part happening. I used to be, but I think we got a good idea of who our audience is now. Every week. Alright, so they said 350 Fahrenheit for, I think she said 14 to 16 minutes. These will probably be closer to a 16 to 18 minute. It's only crazy when Mish gets in here. Lucky for you, Dust, she was in here earlier. So why don't I set, I'm thinking a 10-minute timer. We'll put both of the trays in at the same time, and then we can just rotate the top to bottom, bottom to top, and that way it bakes evenly. And so let's quickly, before those go in too, count how many Rolos we have to use. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I was right. So that's what they look like all in a row. So 3/4 of the way through these baking, when they almost look like they're done, we'll take them out and we'll press one of these each into the top. This is what it looks like. Little caramel filled milk chocolate. And that way it'll get nice and melty and stuck in there, but not melt out the whole way and make a mess. Hi Maka, how are you doing? Okay, let's do this. How are my oven racks? Just gonna fix them a bit because one is up really high. That. Crimson, welcome. Good to see you. Ten minutes on the timer. First part of the stream complete. First hard part done. Okay, what is this joke? Little boy goes to the local baker, asks baker, do you have carrot cake? No, says the baker, I don't have that. A week later, the boy comes in, they have the same conversation, still no carrot cake. After this happens 2 more times, the baker decides to surprise the boy, bake carrot cake for him. So the boy comes by again, asks, baker, do you have carrot cake? Yes, says the baker, I do. To which the boy replies, it's disgusting, isn't it? And leaves? That's funny. I was not expecting that to be the joke. What? DQ has a Rolo Blizzard for the summer special? What did I also see? They had a confetti cake dipped cone. Why do I need that in my life? I love carrot cake, Bob-omb. I heckin' love carrot cake. Bonk only disgusting if they put raisins in it though. True. Like the biggest carrot cake I've ever made, I did like a full sheet pan up at work layered. So I did enough for 2 sheet pans, right? Because 1 pan was each layer. I did like crushed up pineapple in there with the carrots, all sorts of nuts. But I did not put raisins. And no one said anything. A peach cobbler blizzard? Nom. I haven't had DQ in a long time. Okay, while this is baking, we are going to prepare our roasted root vegetables. Good for me, thank you. Yes, and there was so much cream cheese frosting. People went nuts over it. I mean, they still ask me when I see them at the airport when I'm going back to being a baker. I said never. Gotta clean the litter boxes, take a shower. Thank you for the lurk, sir. Oh, Mr. Rebel's keeping watch over SK. Love that. Alright, let's switch back here. And we'll get our carrots out. That is more like how I like my carrot cake, Bob. Yeah, generous amount of cream cheese with a thin film of carrot cake. Why are we sick like that? I love it. We can get our cabbage out too. I think the recipe that I linked for the roasted root veggies, they do like crushed garlic cloves with it, which I think will be so delicious. So we'll definitely do that. And then this is our little cabbage that we will braise up. Was it good, Crimson? Were you happy? I think the thing with fast food now is it all depends on who works at the one that you go to, right? Because I've had good experiences, I've had bad experiences. It really just all comes down to like how much effort the person that's working there wants to put in. I might have to peel this one carrot. It's not looking too hot, but the rest are good. The rest are good. And then usually baby potatoes or creamer potatoes, you don't have to do too much other than cut them in half, which is super nice. You've never had any problems with your local DQ? Yeah, the one where I grew up, because I grew up in the suburb outside of the city here. I haven't seen it close down ever. It's been around for so long. I think they're still doing good. Sophie scrubbing her face on your Fitbit. Just set a timer. Thank you very much, Soph. Okay, peeling this one because it's not very nice looking, but I think the rest will be able to just wash up. Yeah, that's the other one. It's so nice when they have the picnic tables set up at the Dairy Queen. You want some rice for your wrap or you're good? Nope. Sambo's getting into the crab salad, guys. Okay, the rest of these I'm just gonna scrub under some water really quick. Maybe next weekend we go to the farmer's market, they'll have proper strawberries. Let's pray. Praise be to cheeses. Grew up with a DQ in your town too, pal? The lot was really weird though. It was like a dry pond. The Dairy Queen was in the middle. What? That sounds crazy. I love it. Our Dairy Queen's next to a funeral home. I remember that. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. Sous vide and then sear, yep. Do you cook it from the inside out? I linked a good recipe because, I mean, most people have to do it in the oven compared to how we did it. But we wanted to control the temperature a lot more, so we did it in the circulator. Plus, we had time. We can also say, though, if you do have a sous vide at home and want to reverse sear, you don't really have to go more than about 1.5 hours. Just nothing less than 1 hour. Otherwise, there's just no point of going through all that effort. And maybe, what, not more than like 12 for this style? If you're gonna eat it more like a steak, I would say. So there's only been one time where I've experienced something that sat in the circulator for way too long, and it totally changes the texture of the meat. Like, it goes really pasty, just because there's nothing left to hold it together, right? You cook it all out. Kind of a waste. I mean, it was still edible, but you wouldn't want to. Nice. Those look better. Have a peek. 2 minutes. The cookies are looking so good. They're puffing up. You had a Loris Accord. Good ice cream and shakes. Is that like the fancy chocolate company? A Foster's Freeze Bonk is what you have? Not a Dairy Queen though. We have some good ice cream shops here, but holy crap have they gotten super expensive. Like, just in the last, what, year or so, I can say? Yeah, like, I'm not gonna spend $13 on a pint of ice cream. Just tip and top these, and we'll cut them up after. I guess, yeah, Dairy Queen price is not too far off that, right? Hi, DeBear. How's your weekend? It became a buffet-style country restaurant. That'd be so fun to open something like that here. It'd probably be packed all the time. Okay, first, before we get into this, I'm going to prepare our roasting pan. Maybe just a sheet pan, really. Don't need anything more fancy than that. And I will do the foil and parchment for this. Wait, you went to the strawberry festival? I was just saying before you came in. I was hoping that there's gonna be strawberries at the market this week. Was it good? And you went for a walk on the beach? Sounds like a nice life you're living over there. $9 on a small wedge of cheese? I probably wouldn't pay that either unless it was something I'd never have in my life again. It's $9 on a small piece of cheese? Sounds like robbery a bit to me. Oh no, I went too far. My timer's going off. Okay, I'll just bring this stuff over with me then. We're gonna check on the cookies right now. This is their 10-minute timer. Give you guys a peek. They seriously go massive. Like, they look so amazing. How do they bake up that perfect? No chilling involved. So I think we'll go 3 more minutes and then we'll smoosh the chocolate in. They're beautiful, right? They look like saucers. I'm taking that as a compliment. Bob-omb, you missed out on the pine berries this year. Do I know what pine berries are? I don't know if I know what pine berries are. California Strawberry Festival is going on this weekend. Oh. I am a berry fiend, you guys. I seriously am obsessed with so many types of berries. I should put that on the bucket list. California Strawberry Festival. Hey, don't eat the Rolo. Just wait. He tried to sneak it. Then we would have only had 9. He's a good listener, though. Peanut butter, and then we're gonna put the Rolo inside the middle of the cookie in 2 moments from now. You can't blame Samo. Hi, Trev. The bear, almost every area that grows, they have a sort of festival. I'm so jealous. That's like how we were yesterday, Trev. We could not do much more than just like nap in different areas. What is wrong with us?
I get naps.
Naps are key, man. I'm so proud that I can be a napper. Cause yeah, I know some people cannot be nappers. I'm sad for them. Okay, it might be a bit loud. Went to see the new John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds movie, If, last night. Was it good? Oh, we started watching Fallout. This also happened, though, when we started watching Fallout. I don't know what happened to the streaming service. What were we watching it on? Whatever it streams on. Is it Prime Video or something? But we ended up watching the second episode before the first episode of Fallout. So that was interesting. Probably makes sense why the whole time we were watching the first episode, I was like, I feel like we missed some stuff. Yeah, we did. It fell out. It literally did. So now we went back and watched the first episode. Like, wow, everything makes sense now. Good for us for following along as well as we did, though. Okay, that's that. Maybe we'll just do the cookies together, actually, at the stove. Then I don't need a hot trivet or anything. Yeah, that's how our day was yesterday, Trev. Overcast and rainy. It's so perfect for napping, right? Whoa, I went too far. There we go. We'll do 1 tray at a time. And then also, before I even put the chocolate on, I'm just gonna sneak in a little temperature check. Ouch. Don't touch the sheet pan, it's hot. Okay, we're at 185 in the center. So those are pretty much close to being done. Guys, got rain yesterday too. This is pretty typical spring weather though. How it should be here. I'm not complaining because everything's getting really nice and green. The animals are happy. Maybe 3 more minutes in the oven after we put the chocolates in, and then we'll let them start to rest and cool off, because I'm gonna cool them on the sheet pan, which means they will continue to bake for a little bit of time when they're out of the oven. If only they put 12 in a pack. It would have been too perfect. Three more moments. Get the garbage. Hello, Yumel. How have you been, friend? It's been a long time since you've been here. All is well on this side, other than me just like burning the side of my fingy, but that's okay. It lets you know you're alive.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I just touch the sheet pan by accident when it's hot. It's like, whoa, yep. I'm alive still. Just a little kiss. Kiss of the heat. Alright. Now you will deal with our potatoes and carrots. Trev, yeah, they look pretty bad, hey? Probably should start over on those cookies. They don't smell good either. Must have messed them up somehow. Come closer. People are saying the Fallout series is good for a Bethesda Fallout story. Who's Todd Howard? Doesn't like how the new Vegas version wasn't made by Bethesda. I don't know. Yeah, everyone's always gonna have their own opinions on stuff, right? I'm just gonna trim off some of this part that looks dirty. Or like we shouldn't eat it before we cut them in half. So far, the first 2 episodes we watched is really good. I will say a little, like, gory. I wasn't expecting that part, but it's also, like, really well done in that sense, where it's not, like, you have to completely look away. It's kind of how the game is, right, when you play it. There's no holding back. It's definitely gory. It so was. Like, wow, okay. At least you're prepared now for what's gonna happen. The death claws, yeah. Faded, it just works. It does. That's totally it. You did a whole kitchen reno, Yumo? It's always good to do upgrades, even if they're small ones. Lots of little projects. You switched breweries. Things are moving. 100 miles an hour, 7 days a week. I hope one day I'm able to come for a visit. That'd be amazing. I'll bring Sammo. Need a German tour guide. Okay. That was our 3 minutes. That does look good. The hat looks pretty perfect. Turn that oven off for now. See how they're just starting to go brown color on the top edges. Those are the ones with the chocolate. The chocolate went really light colored as it started to get melty. And those are the regular ones. Fallout was one of the best game to show adaptations. A lot of people are saying that. We will let those cool in the back now. We'll try one in a little bit. Looks like a donut. I guess. Hey, the donut hull. Frank, how are you doing? Okay, keep picking over our little taters. Because these are so small, you don't really have to cut them in half. Like I said earlier, you get more surface area for browning if you do that though. So if you have the time, you might as well do it. Yeah, we'll smash some garlic cloves. Get those mixed in. And then we just have to prep our braised red cabbage after this, and then everything will be cooking. As far as searing the pork at the end is gonna go, we're just gonna do it in a pan. I suppose you could also do it under the broiler in your oven if you wanted to. But since we're gonna have some veggies roasting in the oven, we'll just do it on a pan. Majority of video game adaptations are kind of not great. Well, what I know the ones most recently are Fallout and Halo. What are some of the other ones that maybe I don't know? Wait, Last of Us is one, right? Which, yeah, that one had a lot of opinions about it too. So now I'll just take these, cut them in half like this. I thought Last of Us was good, but that's probably because I never played the video game. Oh, the live-action Super Mario Bros. Yeah, I haven't watched that. I guess there is quite a few. Everyone is so small. So the root veggies will take, I'm gonna say, around 20 to 25 minutes to roast in the oven. It's nice that our oven is now kind of preheated from us doing the cookies first. And then around the same actually for the braised cabbage too. And then we can just focus on finishing the pork, searing it up, and making a little bit of a pan sauce before we plate everything. Ah! I knew that carrot was gonna make a run for it. Alright, up to you whether you want to dress this in a bowl or just pop it on the sheet pan. I think we'll just put everything together on the sheet pan. Will be easier. And that way we don't use as much dishes to wash later. Nice, Mickey. That is good news. So we'll save around half of that for now. I'm not going to spread them out until we have it all dressed with everything. Now we'll cut our carrots. How should we cut our carrots, Samuel? You want oblique or something else? I usually do oblique. But if you guys are bored of that, we can do something else. You can send me the pics if you want, Mel. I can post them in Discord for everyone. Or send them on Instagram, either or. Got all new electronic stuff too. Sweet! It's a 374-year-old restaurant. That's amazing. Think about all the history and stuff that's happened there. That's so cool. Sounds good, Michael. I'm glad you made it there safe, and thank you for the lurk, my dude. Precise pentagonal shapes. At least no one said turned carrots. You guys, you lost out on that chance to make me suffer. I've already started, so this is what it's gonna be. And see how I'm cutting them very similar size to our potatoes, so we can roast them all together on the tray. Chow down, Arizona. Thanks for the follow. I'm just gonna turn the sheet pan now so it's closer to the board. We'll get that side loaded up. And we need some garlic in our life. If the carrot's really big like this, I'll usually cut a little bit at the start where it's small. And now we can cut it in half. Yeah, same size, similar cook times. I usually find that carrots take a little bit more time than potatoes. We'll see. I'm still holding it down for food and drink. I'm honored. I really try to show up every weekend. It feels weird if I don't. This is just the thing that we do now, right? And sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just wanted to show you guys that.
Oh, it has to be perfect.
It has to be. It's ruined. Start over.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the yellow colored carrots, you're gonna be like, is this a carrot or is it a potato? They really had a lot of yellow carrots this year in their crop. It's like they just had to stick a couple of the purple and orange ones in so it wasn't all yellow. But these are last year's carrots. I'm excited for springtime carrots. Yeah, wait, Dub, you guys look forward to it? I mean, as much as sometimes... Whoa. I guess that camera decided to stop working. As much as sometimes I want to add extra days, we're also used to seeing each other on the weekend. That was weird. Yeah, we're used to seeing each other on the weekend, so it would be almost a waste for me to try the other days. No one's used to it. Hello, camera. Frank is back. Don't even say that. Sam, you literally said that this morning. Oh, I set up the whole stream. There's no gremlins around right now. Now look at us. They're back. Fill this up. Broccoli is a descendant of the wild cabbage plant. They do look very similar. When the broccoli starts to grow, it has these big leaves that go around the head of it. Farmers selectively bred wild cabbage plants to produce various cruciferous vegetables. Just wait, I gotta show you guys this one sec. Gotta show you the cookies. It melted in. What is going on here? Okay, why is the camera just shutting off by itself? Why is the camera shutting off by itself, guys? But anyways, you can see where the Rolo has sunk down. Is there ghosts? I hope not. I'll just give it a moment off and maybe recheck all these connections. It's really all I got on that one. I mean, there's a lot of stomping going on upstairs that makes the lights flicker sometimes, so I don't know if that's part of it. But let's try one of these cookies. Distract ourselves with delicious things. There it is. You see the caramel on the outside there? Look at how perfect that color is on the bottom of it. Okay, I'm going for this split. Ooh, I don't want the to drop, so I'm just gonna kind of watch. It's like falling apart. You gotta go for the chocolate side, right? Whoa. We'll try it again under this other camera when I turn it back on. That's good. I think I could have added more salt into the cookie dough because it's a bit sweet. Might just be from the Rolo itself. But I don't really taste the sourdough starter anymore. But I think the cookie itself is a really nice texture. Crispy and chewy. Yeah, salted caramel. Hey. Are we back? Why are you doing this to me today? Okay, show them when you split the roll, okay? They wanted to see. He said he doesn't want to show you, so I have to show you another one. It's good though, right? I don't know what happened. It does look like a donut now. Is it gonna split one more? I have to hold the chocolate, I think. There. Now we'll put it back together. That was for you. So that was a good idea then. We satisfied. He just takes my outer piece. We satisfied the void with those ones. Heck yes, guys. The caramel's lava. Careful, seriously. You'll burn your mouth without realizing. And yeah, something about this cookie dough, I don't know if you guys understand if I say it kind of gets like stuck in your back of your cheeks. When you eat it, it lingers on your palate. It's so good. Little super glue Bob. No one will know a thing. Glue it back together. Who's gonna know? No one's gonna know. Okay, let's quickly try and finish these root veggies before the camera decides to do its own thing again. And we're just gonna do a whole head of garlic. See how the carrots stain the boards? The purple carrots. Let's see how our Spanish garlic is holding up. Yeah, those cookies would be phenomenal with milk. Super duper good. We just don't have any, otherwise I would totally pour some. Paloozer, what? I gotta say it. Paloozer says, I had a cheap pink wiener for lunch. Wait, what? Did you have a hot dog? Costco hot dog? Stick a knife in 1 centimeter, pry the naked clove out. Okay, I did see that thing on, I think it was TikTok, where they cut off the whole bottom part and they peel the garlic upside down. It was kind of crazy. Should try it. It was satisfying, good. All that really matters. We're just gonna do whole roasted smashed garlic cloves. And we'll do some olive oil. I got a little bit of dry thyme still, which will be good with both of these things. And then we can check out what I have for fresh herbs. I might still have some parsley. that we can chop up. This one looks kind of gross, so let's trim that off. You could potentially do rosemary with this, but sometimes rosemary can be really overpowering, so don't go crazy with it. Dried dill is good with both of these, potato and carrot as well. So you can flavor it a lot of different ways. You can go as crazy or as simple as you want. Parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme. It's such a good combo. Chicken, pork. Those are my favorites. You could potentially do it with beef, but I'm pretty particular with my beef. I like it just with salt and pepper mostly. Such a good combo. They wrote a song about it. Do I know this song? This is our last garlic here. I'm gonna rinse off my sticky fingers. Bring this over. Maybe I'll just kind of go where we smashed it. Just pull it in half so it's a little bit smaller of a piece to roast. They had an album named that, really? I love music artists that include food in their songs. Okay. Rinsey, rinse, rinse. Yeah. Mom spaghetti. Who else? I find that 2 Chainz, the rapper, he raps a lot about food too. There's a couple artists. Okay, dried thyme. We'll do a little bit of dried dill, because why not? Some salt and pepper. We got the olive oil. Oh yeah, there is the restaurant. It's called Mom Spaghetti, right? Okay, so I do have a little bit of parsley here. What's in this other bag? That's cucumber. We don't need that. I will take the red onion out, though, for our cabbage. Let's see what we got in here. M&M's restaurant, Mom Spaghetti. 14th best celebrity restaurant in the country. 70% of the reviews are 5 stars. Others praise the spaghetti, spaghetti sandwiches, meatballs, and rabbit balls. Like they're making it out of rabbit. There's our parsley. But we don't usually cook fresh parsley. We use that more as a garnish afterwards. But if you had fresh thyme, rosemary, and sage, by all means you can cook or roast your food with that. And then I think this is just mint and basil and a touch of cilantro. So none of those really go with the flavors of this meal today. So we'll put that back. Okay, let's do some oil first to get everything coated. You looked up the mom spaghetti menu Greek? How much is everything? Oops. I just throw in my herb containers into the sink. Oopsies. And we always use a generous amount of olive oil when we roast vegetables so that they don't get dried out. Oh, the rabbit balls are the vegan ones. Like bee rabbit. I love it. Not much more than $20 US. That's not bad. Okay, let's do some pepper. The garlic chunks in here look insanely good. I've never done that before. You could also do onion slices if you want, but I'm putting onion a bit in with the cabbage for some sweetness. We'll just do the cabbage in the frying pan and then put a lid on it. Make it easy peasy. Do some salt. Large plate is $15 max. Not bad at all, I would say. For it being like a celebrity themed restaurant, right? But I mean, they're not gonna astronomically charge at that place is because you want people to go there. Good pinch of salt on each side. Dried thyme. Got slim pickings. I think I'll mostly just do the thyme on the potatoes. It's true, Frank. Think about actually how long this lasted us. When I dried all the fresh thyme. I think that was last fall or something. It lasted us almost the whole winter. $3 for soft drinks. Oh, that's what we did yesterday too. Sam put a couple of the photos in Discord from our small adventure to a place called YG Exotic. So think like different imported sodas, candies, different chips and snacks, stuff like that. Everything was insanely expensive. Like there was a bag of guacamole Takis, and how much were they? $15?
Yeah.
$15 for a bag of guacamole Takis. It's like, okay, I get that it's special, but who can afford to pay that? So instead, we actually tried 2 different flavors of crushed soda that they had because they were only $3 each. We got a strawberry crush as well as a peach crush.
After we dropped off her bottle.
Yeah, after we dropped off the bottle depot. It was so good. Yeah, those flavors, if you guys ever see them, delicious. So let's toss this together. Speaking of restaurants, Cook Sucks was in Hong Kong yesterday trying to visit all 79 of the Michelin restaurants in a day? Is that even possible? How could you eat that much food in a day? So we did the dill on the carrots, the thyme on the potatoes, salt, pepper, oil, garlic. Otherwise. Those are my favorite combos of flavors for each of these vegetables. Get it nicely tossed so everything is well coated. We'll spread it back out so it's not piled. That way we get a nice even roast. Try not to leave the garlic too close to the outside edge because it might burn. It likes to sneaky do that. Now we'll turn it. 79 restaurants, Suzanne. Sounds like it would take you a year, right? How could you eat that much food? Sam will accept guacamole Takis. Yeah, if anyone wants to send us some. Faye, do you ever miss making all the Detroit pizzas? Sometimes we do, I think. Hey, Samuel? Were we saying a little bit this morning, actually? of how good we built up our clientele and how awesome everyone was. Like, we were joking that we got to know all of our clients so well that they could just walk into our house any time of the day, any time of the week, and it wasn't weird. So yeah, there are definitely certain parts that I miss, like that. We'll see how much of this olive oil is left after these potatoes are roasted. They're probably gonna soak most of it up. Like, I know it looks like there's a lot, but watch the magic happen. And I mean, as much as I've been saying I want to do like a little micro bakery or something for people to pick up, I don't know if it works the same in this province compared to where we lived before. Those are really long streams, right? But it's really cool. Like, a lot of people don't see what it takes behind the scenes to cook for quite a few people. A lot of organization, making sure that all of the timings are correct. This smells delicious, guys. I'm gonna put a bit more salt on the potatoes now that they're spread out. So I only did 1 pinch. Okay, now I think we'll turn on the oven and get that heating back up again. We're gonna go higher than what we baked the cookies at because we want a little bit of browning action on these veggies when we roast them. So I usually go around 425 Fahrenheit. Then while we're waiting for that, we'll prep our cabbage for braising. Put that over by the stove. So we got a purple onion and a purple cabbage. Thanks, Faye. It seriously looks good. I love how the potato and the carrot are like the same color. And maybe I'll read the recipe for this cabbage. I've made it a lot of times before. But let's see if there's anything we can learn from it today. Check this out. It says red cabbage recipes go back as far as the Great Depression. And I mean, still appear frequently on tables across the country all year round. It's true. Is like any type of braised cabbage popular in Germany, Sam? Or is red more popular than green? Or both kind of the same? He died, guys. He had his cookies, now he's died. He can't answer questions. But anyways, I'm making the red cabbage today, so it ends up more of like a German-inspired meal with the pork and the roasted veggies. You can add, for extra sweetness, some apple into here. That would go really good with pork too, because pork, apple, onions, awesome flavor combination. There is sugar and vinegar in braised cabbage. And then either water or broth, some kind of spices if you want. They say a little bit of cloves, and then just some salt and pepper. I think how we're gonna do ours today is we will julienne our onion nice and thin, and then we're gonna cut wedges out of this little cabbage and place them around the frying pan. But we're gonna fry up the onion a little bit first, fry this up a little bit. We got a raid coming in at a great time. Hello, Noodles and Nightcaps. Thanks for the raid. How was your stream today? What did you get up to? We're just going over the braised cabbage really quick. Hello, mother, sister, auntie, Teresa. Thank you, Happy, as well. Gifting the sub to Noodles and Nightcaps. Welcome to the kitchen crew now, friend. Happy to have you part of it. It says they cook, chat, eat, and mix cocktails. Fun! Fun! What did they get up to? And hi, Goat Farmer. This cabbage is seriously the cutest red cabbage I've ever bought. And it actually tastes so delicious because it's smaller. Like the flavor is concentrated, right? Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. So if you guys are new here, I cook on Twitch every weekend as well as Fridays. We start at 11 a.m. Pacific. I am also a professionally trained chef. I graduated culinary school in 2012, which is crazy to say now. And we have been streaming cooking on Twitch since 2018. So quite a while. If you have Discord, definitely join our Discord channel. I have all of the recipes from these past 6 years in there. Thank you so much, friend. You made lunch and had a chat. What'd you make for lunch? Thanks for the follows as well. Mother, sister, Auntie Teresa, and Noodles and Nightcaps. And yeah, a lot of people say that our channel brings like chill cooking vibes, and we like to talk about a lot of different things around the world, about food. Only things we don't talk about here is politics and religion, because there's other channels that you can do that. I think that's all I got. So we are going to cook this in a frying pan. The only thing you have to think about when you braise something is that you have to be able to cover it. So you need a lid for whatever thing that you're braising in. I think that will work good. It's a pretty small cabbage. So we'll do this one frying pan here. So right before you guys came in, I was saying we're gonna slice our onion nice and thin and fry it up first. And then we're gonna cut this kind of into wedges, or if you've seen cabbage steaks on different recipes, and we'll lay that around, get it seared maybe on each side for extra flavor, and then braise it after that, which just means we'll pour a little bit of liquid and cover it so that the steam cooks the vegetables through. Same way braising if you were to do meat as well. You made a power bowl kind of dish? Yum. That's kind of how I cooked all last weekend on stream. Made different salads and like cold dishes because it was quite warm out here. Loser. Okay, let's peel this up. We're not going to use all of the onion either. We're coming in with the fun facts, and yeah, we also like to learn a lot here, so we will try to answer questions as best as we can. Even after all this time, I'm still learning. Trim up that onion, it's a bit dry there. So julienne referred to as the allumette or matchstick when used on potatoes, so think like McDonald's fries pretty much, or julienne. And yeah, also the starting point for the brunoise cut, which is like one of, or is the smallest cut that you can make. So there's this. And then in culinary school, we are taught to cut across the onion like this to follow the natural lines, not cutting across this opposite way. So put that down. I'm going to start on this flatter side and then end over here. Good job. That didn't take you very long to adult. Good job, Blood Oak.
Oh.
You thought I was talking to you, Samo? That's funny. You're back? I was trying to ask you questions, but you fell asleep.
What's up?
I was trying to ask if, like, red cabbage is more popular in Germany than green cabbage, or is it all one and the same? Samo says it's all one and the same, guys. I'm seeing some pieces of onion here that I want to just cut smaller. I hate when that happens. Please call me Scene. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Okay, that looks better. Maybe I'll cut this one in half. It depends on the dish in Belgium. Just even this out so it's not massive chunks of onion in with the cabbage. It's trying to make my eyes water a little bit. And not as bad as the white onion though. Holy. Those have been so strong lately. Bye, Dust. Have a good walk. I think we're gonna do that after stream too. It's still like pretty nice out. Before we get 2 days of rain. A northern cardinal and you have a baker's dozen of mourning doves in the driveway? That sounds so nice. I love birdlies. We'll get our cabbage wedges. I'm not gonna cut more than what's gonna fit in the pan, right? So why don't I cut this in half first? It's easier to wedge, and as well we can cut out the core because I haven't done that previously yet. Usually I just angle my knife and cut a triangle so that we're able to pick it out like that. I always check the one side that's been previously cut to see if it's a bit dried, but it looks good. So now we can cut wedges like this. The first one looks kind of funny because it's really small. And then just let it fall, but kind of hold it together at the same time. Be easier to place in the pan like that. Do 2 more. I think we can do maybe 2 more pieces, and then that will fill up the pan. Take the core out of here. 25 Celsius where you're at. It was so nice last week and it felt like summer, but now it feels like spring again, and I'm not mad. I like when it's pretty cool here. I don't like having to run the AC and stuff like that in the summer. Holy shit, what are they doing upstairs? That sounds crazy. Got race car driving happening at the upstairs neighbors. Okay, that should be good. Now I just have this little wedge to use up. When it rains and the temp stays up, it gets so muggy out. The air just feels like hot and heavy. Okay, that's that. I think we'll use some butter for the braised cabbage. We'll get the best flavor that way. I'm not gonna do any crazy herbs, and all we need is a little bit of vinegar and whatever type of sugar you want. So I'm just gonna use some maple syrup and apple cider vinegar. And I'm also going to pop a bay leaf in with the braise. And then we should be good. Maybe a little bit of like bouillon or something with the water. A lot of people think that braising means that whatever you're cooking needs to be fully submerged in liquid, but that's not the case. The most important part is that it has a lid and that you can cover it. All right, brought all the things we need over here. You can see this camera on the cutting board just randomly shut off 2 times earlier today. I don't know why. Okay, so there's our veggies for roasting. I think we're safe to put that pan into the oven now. So I'll pop that in, and then I'll set, I think a 10, maybe 15-minute timer actually will do. Let's do 15 minutes on the clock till we check that. Turn on our pan to medium heat. And then if I quickly do this, for some of you that are new in here, you can see our pork. We cooked it a bit fancy way today. We cooked it in the sous vide for quite a few hours to make sure that we rendered the fat in the pork chops compared to doing a reverse sear in the oven. So all we have to do is take the pork out of the water when we're ready, get it dried off a little bit, and then sear it. We'll use a nice big pan for that. Let's get our nub of butter melting so that we can fry the onions up. The cabbage is seriously purple. It is so nice. Phenomenal little cabbage, that one. I think this chunk of butter will be awesome. I'm not holding back, guys. Because the butter is going to make such a nice sauce with the broth as everything cooks down together. Don't be scared of fat. A lot of people are scared of fat. You use goat butter? I don't even know if I've ever seen goat butter anywhere in my life. Butter seriously makes everything better. Here, I'll get the onions into there. And then I'm just gonna put a couple things away from our baking and stuff earlier while we're waiting on this. Our cookies turned out phenomenal. That's a for sure make again. Another way to use up sourdough discard. Yeah, you butter use enough of it. Annie would be proud of you, Oak. He can't be with us today. He is in grading mode. All of our teachers are finishing up school right now. I'm just getting a spoon or a spatula to stir this stuff around a bit as it cooks. And then maybe a bit of salt. Help those onions along. Draw out a bit of moisture. Good to go. All right, done with the dried thyme. Done with the dill. Baking powder and soda away. Now that the butter's melted, I'll mix this a bit, get it coated. Oh, there's still a massive onion chunk. Oh well. Let that fry up. I'm gonna turn the heat just a little bit higher for the onions. Yeah, the 4 cornerstones of Cook with Kate. Puns, feta, garlic, and cheese. It's not wrong. Those are mostly all of our favorite things. Put our sugars away. Not that you're looking, but you keep seeing ads for Bentleys. Around 16 grand? 2006? That seems like a good deal. It must be hot. That's what I learned from Trailer Park Boys watching. If it's a nice car that's really cheap, it's hot. You don't want to get yourself into that unless you do. Oak, the really big cornerstone is the wonderful community. I am so proud of the community that we've built over the years. Like, we're all kind of professionals in our own sense. And yeah, there are some people in here that have disabilities and can't work and stuff like that. But everyone is always inclusive. It doesn't matter who you are and what you do, but if you jive with everyone in the community, yeah. It's not even like we're that picky of who we want to be friends with. But at the same time, we've always known that, like, the food comes first here, right? As much as we mess around and have fun, we always know that the food is still number one, no matter what happens. Because it takes a lot to grow food and raise animals that we eat. So we have to treat it with the respect that it deserves. This is smelling so good already. Just wait till you start putting the cabbage in. So we still want to chop a little bit of parsley fresh for garnish. I'll do that once the cabbage is in the pan. And yeah, obviously we need Bob. Greek, if you go by depreciation, Bentleys, once you put a license plate on it, they drop in price instantly. People used to say what? Driving a used car off the lot, you lose like half of the value instantly? I don't know if that's still the case. But I always thought that was so nuts. It's like the worst investment you can make is a vehicle, but somehow everyone needs one, right, to get to work. Can't really get around it unless your public transport is like on it. The nutty flavor of the butter. Okay, these are starting to brown a bit, so I think we can push them over. I'll push them up this way because the butter is flowing down. And we'll still cook them in the pan, but let's start to place our cabbage around. 75% of the value, see? But yeah, if you go to used cars, they're not as bad as a new car. You just have to have this level of trust with the used car that it's actually been treated well. Because some people lie. They try to be sneaky sneakers. You can even like put the onions on top of the cabbage, I think is what we're gonna do to make room. Holy. That looks insane. Greek, you're saying that Bentleys have changed their engines since the older models? Okay, now we're gonna turn this down a bit, the heat. Wow, we really cut the perfect amount of cabbage. That was the last piece. I just have a couple remnants here that I'll sneak in. On top. Turning this down now a bit. So start to spread out the onions a little bit more if you can. If it's too difficult, I wouldn't worry too much about it once we got the liquid in here. I'm gonna use a little cup to pour our water. Little cabbage dusters. Okay, I'm not gonna pour all of this. Let's just kind of watch. Usually I go until it's about halfway up, whatever we're cooking. That looks pretty good. I gotta come closer. I don't know if we can come too much closer. Yes, we can. Sweet. Okay. That's that. We'll let it come back up to a simmer as we're getting things seasoned. And we're evening out the temp. So when you braise things, you want them simmering, not boiling. Sneak in our little bay leaf. Right underneath so it actually permeates the flavor throughout. I'm gonna put a little bit of this vegetable bouillon mix in. That's what it looks like in the container. It's just like chopped up veggies with a little bit of salt. And then I usually go pretty easy on the vinegar and sugar at the beginning because we can always add a bit more later to balance out the flavors. So apple cider vinegar, also why they say if you put apples in this, it's really good. Because as this cooks, it will reduce into that like sweet, sour, savory kind of sauce. A little bit of maple syrup. And so I'll be moving this onto a different burner so that we can sear the pork together. Start heating that up over here. Around a medium heat. And then I'm just gonna grab my lid. You guys can see how this is kind of not submerged because my stovetop is uneven, so I'll be swiveling the pan like that about halfway through, and then that's my lid. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, you just need it to be able to cover. Move this over. I'll bring up our other big pan for the pork. You want something with a lot of surface area. Hopefully we can cook all 4 of the pork chops at the same time in this big pan. And it's cast iron, so it's gonna hold the heat really good. It is 2:18 p.m. here. We're on MST, Mountain Standard Time. What do we got on our stuff in the oven? Just under 2 minutes. I'm with you on that, Trev. Rather pay $16,000 for a stove or something rather than a vehicle, right? Okay, really quick, let's come over while our stuff is cooking. Just gonna try to pick our parsley. This is just a garnish that we'll chop up. Add some fresh greenery to the plate. Aw, thanks, Anders. I've had these pans for a long time. They're nothing new, but I will say, since I have purchased these, they have gone up a lot in price. For like still the same thing, right? Yeah, these 2 pans that I'm using today, I always say they're my favorite. And I've cooked so many different things on stream with those 2 pans. And I still think they're gonna last me like the rest of my life if I take care of them the same way I always have. There should be no reason. So no cracks on the coating? No. No cracks really, no chips. And if there is, it's very, very minor that you don't even notice it, right? That it's not gonna rust or anything like that. I think that's enough parsley. And yeah, I've cooked with them on a gas stove. I've cooked with them on induction, on a flat electric stovetop, on a coil electric stovetop. So I've used them in a lot of different places too. I still think the best though is the electric flat glass stovetop. It's even better than an induction. That was our timer for the roasted veggies in the oven. That was a 15 minutes. Just making sure that they're happy. Give them a poke. They're still pretty rock hard. So I'm not gonna worry too much about rushing cooking them. But let's reset that timer. I'm gonna go another 10. I mean, they are sizzling, so we know that they are cooking and doing what they should be doing. As well, either of these sides, like if the roasted veggies are done early, you can just let them stay warm in the oven with it off. Or if our cabbage is done braising early, just let it stay warm in the pan on the stove top. Obviously turn the heat off and it'll be okay to sit for a couple minutes while we work on the pork. Do pans like these get less good if using on gas and later on induction? Like the one thing I noticed using with gas, I guess I can't really bring it over here, but I'll bring you guys over there so you can see it, is that it builds up a little bit on the enamel. Bring you right over. So see where it says Staub? How there's some black stuff on there? That's from when I used it on the gas stovetop. And then just a little bit of oil splashing from around the pan when you're searing stuff is going to make that slowly build up. And I mean, you can get it off. It just takes a little bit of extra effort. Carbon, yeah, the carbon will build up faster. Whereas if you use electric, it doesn't have that like instant hot heat that it'll just keep building up more and more. But your best friend for this and like any kind of cleaning in the kitchen is barkeeper's friend. I don't use it a ton, but it's really nice to have around when you do need it. Hi, Scoots. You're saying, hey, you're out getting plants today? That is so exciting. I hope you get all of the plants that you're looking for. And thanks for popping by. I love gardening and growing stuff. It's another thing I was saying this morning to Sam. I don't know how it is where you guys live around the world, but our grocery stores here, you can either buy like kind of bigger bunches of fresh herbs, like how this parsley was. That's like an off-brand, but usually it's still coming from either Mexico or the States. Or there's like the grocery store brand in the plastic container that you can buy fresh herbs. But there's nothing in the store of like someone locally growing fresh herbs of all different varieties and being able to sell them. I was like, do I need to be the herb grower for the city? Does the magnet at the bottom get less magnetic from the heat of the gas flame? The magnet is not in the pan. The magnet happens when you use induction with a certain metal. But they're not putting physical magnets inside of the pan. One thing I noticed as far as the magnet goes is when I was streaming, the magnetics happening with the induction would mess up my audio on stream, so that's why I hated using them. Just put this in a little container for sprinkling. Oh, yet it is. I love our meal requests. If I could, may I please request Korean fire chicken if you haven't made it already. I've never even heard of it. I'm in. I am in, my friend. Korean fire chicken coming on up. Induction will warp a carbon steel pan. That's scary. I'd be so upset if that happened to a carbon steel pan, because carbon steel is some of the most expensive cookware to use. A lot of restaurants that I've worked in only have like a couple, maybe max 4. And then they're only really used for like cooking fish and certain items like that. I'm sure as long as you don't crank the heat too much, you'll be good to go. And the mat for warps a bit. That's so crazy. I mean, I still have that induction to cook with as a backup option, right? But I don't use it much. Don't use it much. Where are we here on this stuff? Oh, I did want to make a pan glaze from the pork. I think it's pork time. We got our potato, carrot, herbs. Braised cabbage is going. The last thing on there was the pan glaze. Yet it is, if you have a recipe for the chicken, by all means, share it. Or I will look it up myself and make my best judgment call, like I always do. Okay, we're coming back over here because we're gonna get into the pork. Take it out of the bag now. It really smells garlicky in the house. I'm gonna open up the window a sec. Not that it's bad. Just I closed the window earlier because it was a bit chilly, the wind rolling in. More like Sam slammed the window shut and I can't open it. Okay, we got it. We got it. I don't think I've ever cranked the heat on induction either. It just seems like a scary thing to do. I'm gonna get a plate out. This doesn't look like anything good right now. Well, maybe if you've sous vide stuff before it does. We gotta take it out of the plastic, wick away some of this moisture, so that you can get a good sear. Because you don't sear things that are wet. It'll more just like boil, right? So I just put the towel under so we didn't get too much water on the board. Got these. Trev, the pan that happened to, were you able to fix it or you had to just get a full brand new one? Let's get our towel that we want to wick away this moisture on the pork. I don't really use paper towel anymore, but that would probably be the best. So I picked a cloth that doesn't give off a lot of like fluff, let's say. And the other note I'll quickly say is we didn't season this pork before it was cooked. So it's just plain, so we have to season it now. You can go something simple, just salt and pepper, or you can do a sort of rub if you want more flavors. So these have been cooked to 125 Fahrenheit. And then we also want to take off some of this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna rinse it under the water. But this is like the stuff that we skim off of broth, right? The impurities that have cooked out from the meat and the connective tissue. And you can see how marbled this is now. Like, most of this is meat, all the white stuff is fat. So that's why we cooked it in the circulator rather than the oven. So that it permeated through all of the fat here. And let's say, okay, if we just did a straight pan sear, none of that would really get softened and buttery like it is now. It would stay more chewy. So that's really the only reason we did it in this way. So by the time the pork is seared, and we'll slice it up, it should basically just be melting in your mouth. Like, that one looks crazy good. And not to say that you can't do this in the oven, just you wouldn't be able to do it as long, depending on the coldest setting in your oven. I think ours is 175 Fahrenheit. So that's 50 degrees more than what these are cooked at. Let me just finish this last one, and then that was the 10-minute timer already on our roasted veggies. So we'll get these blotted off and seasoned and seared. Sneak that one in the center. There's always this sort of juice, or we call this purge, that really, unless you flavored the pork, there's not a reason to keep that. It's gonna kind of taste bloody. But if you seasoned it, you might be able to strain it and make a sauce from it. Do our final wash up here. And yeah, because these are cooked to 125 Fahrenheit, it's not raw. So it's not as weird as touching raw meat. Let's have a peek at this stuff. You guys can hear it screaming. These are our veggies roasting along. I think I'm just gonna swivel the tray in the oven, but it's looking fantastic. The garlic's not getting too dark. Beautiful. Okay. Give that a pat. Dried. I'm just planning on doing our pork rub, I think. We do it a lot, but I mean, there's a reason. It's so good. Which one is it? This one. So it's salt, pepper, garlic, coriander, paprika. Even this up. There we go. Up to you if you want to season both sides of the meat, then you don't put as much on each side. But I usually only season one side, so you can go pretty liberal. Let's see how it sticks on. Looking good. A lot of rubs will have sugar in them as well, and that will help your meat brown more. But keep in mind, it will also make it possible to burn if you go too high of a heat, if there's sugar in your rub. So often I won't put any sugar in my rub. Go a bit more over here now. That looks really good. And we'll let that start to soak in. Let's come over. Just fix this camera. And we can sneaky check the cabbage together because it looks like it's cooking and reducing really nice over there under the lid. As well as if you notice the cabbage is getting nicely cooked and softened, but there's lots of liquid still, then you can start to pop the lid off, right? Because you want it more saucy than anything, not watery. You can also have a sip of the broth. See how that's tasting. This all feels pretty good though. I'm gonna swivel this pan. I haven't done that yet. Cabbage sauce. Whoa. That is insanely good. It's like sweet, buttery, salty. You get a little bit of the herbaceousness from the bay leaf. That is really, really good, guys. I don't even know if we need to make a sauce for the pork if the cabbage has that already. Sometimes you can pleasantly surprise yourself. For searing the pork, I know it's quite fatty. Maybe we'll sear them the unseasoned side down first so that we can render some of that fat in the pan. That will be the best, rather than us trying to add more fat to the pan just so that the seasoning doesn't stick. I think that'll be the best. So make sure that you have some tongs for flipping the pork over. And then really the last thing we'll need is just a cutting board. So I'm gonna turn this pan up to medium-high heat now and get it heating up for the pork. Back it up. Okay, can't go any further back than that, otherwise you're off the counter. Holy, this hallway smells fantastic. And since we've already cooked the pork to medium rare, we're really just trying to get some color, some browning on the outside of it. It's not like we have to fully cook the pork through after waiting all this time. So a lot of people that have busy jobs where you work like a typical 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, using something like a sous vide or immersion circulator can really help you because you can put your meat in before you go to work and you know it's not going to get overcooked, and then all you have to do when you come home is quickly fry it up in a pan and you're good to go. No quinoa salad today. Samo's home. We're back to proper home style cooking. Plus the weather's a bit cooler, so that always helps me want to eat food that's warm. That's funny that we're like that. Okay, we're getting there on this. I like how the steam's just flowing out the side of the lid. You can do a test little drop of the pork if you need to. Just bring them over here. I was saying to Sam this morning, before I met him, I didn't eat a ton of pork in my life. Now that I've been with Samo, I definitely eat a lot more pork. So wherever we place this in a pan, think you're not really gonna move it. That's a good sizzle sound. Really, really good sizzle sound. If it smells like the fat's not rendering like I want it, then I will add a little bit of lard into here. But we should be good to go. I saved this little small guy to maybe sneak over here. There. Just give it a press so it's nicely adhered. We are cooking, my peoples. Get rid of the cloth. Start to wake the bear up. So it'll probably take close to 3 times to wake him up. Boneless pork chops. This is from a pork loin that I got on sale. So it was a full pork loin. It was $32. And then we cut some roast out of it, as well as some just pork chops like this. And yes, it was boneless. But I got such a good deal on it. I can't even believe it still. We've done so many different things. Okay, so whatever you're searing is still stuck to the pan, that's telling you it's not ready to flip over yet. I'm just gonna swivel this to make sure it's searing evenly on the burner. But yeah, you don't flip it over. Same with when you grill meats. You only flip it when it easily comes off of the surface. If the smell doesn't wake him, he went to the room, which the smells don't really waft into our bedroom too much. But yeah, if like it smells so garlicky in here, it's kind of crazy. The cabbage smell is insane. So this is the first pork chop that we put in the pan. There is some fat, but I think I might add a little bit more. Because as much as we are trying to get this seared, we're also trying to not overcook it. Well, that one lifted up okay. Let's check this out again. Oh, now it is loose. Awesome. Okay. That looks pretty good. We can always go more, but I'd rather sear the other side. Nice. Now they're all just coming off. And we are going to sear, I think, the top side of the fat cap. And see how the outside of the pan, just with how the surface area is, you don't get as good of a sear. That just means my pan is bigger than my burner. It smells crazy in here. I'm gonna open the door even more. Get the patio opened. While we're waiting, grab a couple plates. I'll do a couple different versions of plating. And I want to have some sour cream with my potatoes today. I love sour cream with roasted potato. Feeling nice and firm. I can see a bit of pink juices coming out of the center there, so we'll let them keep going. We just need a slicer knife. We'll slice our pork chops so that they're really nice and easy to eat. Don't forget our parsley. Oh, I don't know if it's able to be saved. I think so. You know, when the sour cream starts to mold on the one side, usually I just scoop that off. You guys get weird about that? Isolated dairy mold. I'm gonna check this other side. Nice, it's getting quite colored from the seasoning. So now, like I said, we want to sear this top side. Use the side of the pan to prop it up and finish. Like that. We'll move them around. Just gonna move this more this way. Sour cream doesn't last long enough. This one is huge though. Like when I get a whole liter and then Sam's gone, it takes me a while. Okay, I poked the potatoes and the carrots. They're both soft. You can probably just turn the oven off. Off. Our cabbage looks amazing. How's this piece? Almost good. And then this one I might have to turn because there's a lot there. Stand up, pork chops. That is what I did. We just sous vide them today so that we could render the fat longer. Okay, I'm gonna taste this. Nay, nay. The mold made it all taste that way. Yeah, real stand-up pig. Okay, I think we're good. This one I want to do a bit more. I'm just going to lay it on this side. You can also just hold it up, right, in the fat and sear it that way if it wants to fall over. And we'll pop them on a cutting board to rest. The dog treat chick, Bob. See if the smells wake him up. And then I always take that off of the hot burner because it gets so smoky from just the hot fat. So I'm gonna take you guys out of there while I do that because that's where the camera's chilling. I want to set up a little plating station for us while we wait. Okay, oven's off. Everything's good to go, my friends. Other than my husband. You love pork? I have really started to love pork. I'm quite picky of pork. I cannot stand dry pork, or pasty pork even, we can say. That one looks phenomenal. Hello? Gotta come back to life. Okay? He's coming back to life. We didn't need the Rolo-less cookie. Made baby back ribs last night, and tonight is roast pork tenderloin. Yeah, he lives! Oh my god. Okay, let me quickly set up our video for plating for the socialing medias. Pork's resting anyways, important. It's gonna be a good one. Awesome. The lighting looks pretty good. Might go one more just while we're plating. Yes, sir. Alright, we got our parsley over here for garnish. Take a peek at our cabbage. It looks and smells phenomenal. I don't think we could have done better on that one. It might be a bit difficult to serve, but let's see. Look at how nice that came out. Most of the broth and stuff is reduced. It soaked up all of the butter. And the onions are really soft too, right? It's just gonna melt all together in your mouth. I don't like when there's crunchy onions. And then this goodness, like look at these roasted garlic pieces on there that got crispy. They're crispy, but not burnt. I like when the baby potatoes start to blister up, like that. And then we did some dill carrots. He won't be sleeping when I make the cheesecake? He might. And I drink more, cook less. How are you doing? You might fall asleep. Are you still here? He wasn't. We need movement, sir. See? We know him too well. Okay, I want to slice this one for myself. And we'll slice a couple for Sam. Maybe we'll leave this bigger one and we'll do the two smaller ones. That sounds good. Yeah. Late for breakfast. You don't need your slice? Did this get dirty? Why don't you need your slice? Guys, he doesn't need the slicing treatment. Just gonna turn it this way for myself. So we're going across. We go this way. Just the end piece that just fell off. Wow. Hello, we gotta come closer. I can't get it to shingle. There we go. Now you guys can see it. Insane. You don't want it sliced? It'll be really nice to eat like that. This one's mine, but I'll do yours. So all of those pieces of fat in between there, that's why we did it sous vide. Is so that fat got more buttery and soft in texture. compared to staying really chewy. But then the meat didn't get dried out either. Did you get cabbage?
I get the cabbage.
Okay. You want this one as well?
Yes, please.
Test this one. Same. Your jaws hurt. That's a plate of plates, and you know you rested it enough because there's no juices really running on the board. Show them yours. Nummy num num.
Smash.
Whoa. You guys just hear the tire screechings? Okay, now I'm gonna go fill up my plate with the veggies and such. The sand plate will disappear in 5 minutes. Yep. You guys know the deal. You got some garlic bits with your taters. Did you see them? Yeah. Nom. Pile of potatoes. Get a mix of the carrot colors. The porco?
Oh, yeah.
You guys hear that? There's that. Motorbike squad. Sneak our nice purple cabbage on. And then we left enough room to put our pork on there. Bring this back over. I'm gonna leave some of the end pieces off. It's just gonna be hard for me to lift up right now. This is called fanning. When you do this with meat or anything else, kind of fans it out so you have more presentation. I'm gonna try this piece of pork right here. The pork need more salt, or it's good what you have? It needs more salt? Okay. The only thing I wanted to pour was a little bit of the juice from the cabbage, guys, to bring everything together. And then just our bit of parsley. If I turn it this way, it usually looks better with the lighting. I'm gonna bring some parsley to Samu for his veggies. Cabbage is deadly. You can go either all over the veggies or just on the roasted ones will brighten up the color contrast there. There's not a ton of the juices, but there's enough for it to add a little something something on the bottom of the plate. Show that. Show you guys now. See how that just added a little bit of sauce and juices? Can you lick the pan? Sure. I'll allow that. First come, first serve. I don't even think we'll need a knife. Let's see. I'm gonna start with the pork, guys. Go with a nice meaty piece. Right through the middle. See how that tastes. Did it really help to soften the fat in the pork chop? Yeah? Look at that, if I hold it up. That looks like steak almost.
You tell me, you had it.
Mmm. You want some of the cabbage juices or you got enough? Yay! That is so good. With the buttery cabbage broth, holy. So it has that sweetness of the onion, the flavor from the bay leaf. A little bit of salty crust on top of the pork. Whoa. Happy, thank you very much for the 200 bitlies, my friend. And I will say, like, I'm not a very fatty sort of meat person. But when you do it properly, it doesn't overwhelm the palate. Mmm. The fat just melts in your mouth. Slice that one bigger piece of cabbage, but let's see how this is. That's the best braised cabbage I've ever made. Something about the frying the onion and the flavor of the bay leaf. I don't know if it's the maple syrup that made it really good too instead of just brown sugar. Honestly, don't know, guys, but that is delicious. Considering we just put like water with a little bit of the bouillon mix dried. There's still a little bit of crunch to some of these bigger pieces of the cabbage, but a lot of it is really nice and soft. Now our garlicky potatoes. Basically tastes like garlic mashed potato because the inside of the potato is super soft. Eat it with the roasted garlic clove. That's crazy good. The garlic doesn't taste bitter. It's just a good pack of creamer potato. Tasty. And now, our fancy roasted carrots. Could have put more salt on the carrots too. I thought just the potatoes needed it. They still taste good, but when you know they can taste better, I'm gonna tell you guys. Because I know that you watch about how much I put on everything. That's fantastic. The pork, though, insane. Is that everything that you needed? Best thing you've eaten in however many days other people cooked for you? Perfect. We couldn't do that bit of cabbage. Guys, look. This is what's left. 10 grams of cabbage, and he got the bay leaf. Now he's dead. Dead to the world. But not everything's the same color. I'm sorry, Bob. I gotta try better next time. And I made everything from this meal today. I already had in the fridge and or freezer. Like, this is me not even going grocery shopping. You can either say that's lazy or it's smart.
Yep.
Maybe both. Maybe both. What was the best thing you ate
Short ribs.
at work? Was the short ribs? Mm-hmm. They did like nice braised short ribs, and I think you just had it with broccoli that night or something. But that was the best thing you ate in all 21 days. And even then, they still weren't like as good as they could have been. That's okay though, they'll keep trying, hopefully. They were really good? Nice. This is so good, guys. And then don't forget our cookies. Our yummy Rolo peanut butter cookies. So chocolate caramel in the center. I'm pretty sure for this size of cookies, we probably could have put 3 Rolos in each, so you got a little bit in each bite. Like I said, Sam surprised me with those. So I was just gonna do chocolate chips, which is also just as good. A big W stream, not too much dishes either. Honestly, can't complain from this menu that I made up. Guys, we will be back tomorrow. I can't believe it's Sunday already tomorrow. So we're gonna cook some brunch. We're brunching fried chicken, eggs Benedict, or fried chicken Benny Bowl, whatever you want to eat. That is also so good. Yes, the mini Reese's cups in those cookies, if you want extra chocolate peanut butter flavor, is seriously delish. You're right, Gers. I think that'd be my pick over the Rolo. Just because it's not quite as sweet as the caramel. But that is totally personal preference. I'm looking for who we're gonna go raid real quick. I know they were saying Hitch was on earlier, and he still is. Nice. Corning Redemption Tour. He's in Corning, New York. 1 of 8. Episode 1 of 8, maybe? Day 1 of 8? We'll have to go and find out. Although, there is one of my favorite cooking streamers on right now who I don't ever see anymore. Tabatai Cooking is celebrating his 6-year stream anniversary. So I think we're actually gonna go raid him instead. Because I miss Graham and Amanda. It's been a long time. Does he say what he's making today? Making noodles and playing games. So if anyone doesn't know who Tabatai Cooking is on Twitch, can we say he's like the Japanese food master and noodle master? That's what I think of him. Whenever I need help with Japanese food, that's totally who I would go to. You're going to recommend a Vij. He builds Lego, but my choice is more legit. Maybe that person will be on tomorrow, Oak Oak. Because I do love to find new streamers around. And hi, Wavek. Reese's. Ooh, excuse me. That's the garlicky Belcher approval. Thank you. Peanut butter flavored chalk. Any generic peanut butter cup is better. I will say, yeah, I don't even buy Reese's anymore. For the fact that they just don't taste the same like they used to. That fits him, White Dove. The noodles and playing games for sure. And plus, we don't see him very often anymore. So I'll be back 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow cooking up some brunch. And we're going to have a friend over because we're going to be watching the Formula 1 race after stream. So hope to see you guys then. If you are not around, I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. Thanks, guys, for the raid today from Noodles and Nightcaps. Thank you. All the new follows. Our resubs. Our gifted subs. Love y'all for that. And yeah, you know to join our Discord if you need anything else. I'll be around, and that's where all of our recipes are that we cook with. Have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are in the world, thank you for spending a little bit of it with me. I'm gonna hit this button. Let's go see Graham and wish him a happy 6-year stream anniversary being on Twitch. Sam will say bye.
Bye.
Bye.